So what is a Solaro suit? Where does Solaro come from? Why is it so interesting? And why does it stand out? These are all very good questions which we're going to answer by looking at Edward Fox in a Solaro suit in the famous movie The Day of the Jackal. Solaro is one of those mysterious looking fabrics that pops up every now and then. If you do a search on YouTube, you'll find a lot of very interesting videos about it. Or if you take a look at any of the Pitti Uomo videos, that is a menswear event that happens twice a year in Italy, you will see many people wearing this fascinating fabric. What's so fascinating about it, and where did it come from? Its origins, very similar to fresco, come from over 100 years ago at the end of the 19th century. It was a fabric designed to deflect the harmful UV rays from the sun to protect British soldiers fighting in hot climates, which unfortunately the science behind it has been busted and it doesn't really do that job at all. However, what came of it is a very interesting low-key statement fabric. That may sound contradictory, but as we go on we will find out what the big deal is. Hi, my name is Michael and welcome to my channel for the love of suits. We find inspiration on how to dress well from the best dressed men on the screen. There's a new video every Wednesday and shorts throughout the week. And like Fresco by Hardy Minis, Solaro is actually a brand name and is owned by the Smith Woolen Company and is quite expensive. However, other brands also make their own version of it, it's just not called Solaro. It's a bit like the name champagne versus sparkling wine. So Solaro is this iridescent fabric which is a little bit like denim. If you look on one side it's one colour, when you look on the back it's another colour because of the way it's woven. Solaro is a kind of sand or beige coloured fabric, with the back of the fabric being a brick red colour. The effect of which is that in the sunshine, as you move around in your suit, the brick red can be seen moving and swaying throughout the fabric as you walk. That's what I mean by it's a kind of a statement piece and low-key at the same time. Indoors, it may just appear to be a very nice beige suit. However, out in the sunshine, it is going to be extremely eye-catching. While at the same time being a kind of beige colour. It's kind of a contradiction in terms, but it is a beautiful and excellent fabric if you see it in real life. And we're going to see Edward Fox wear his Solaro suit, as separates, and all the way from formal to quite informal. Don't wear it, style it. And the Solaro weave is a herringbone weave. This is a very popular and classic business suit, but is also suitable for casual wear, as we shall see. And we are first introduced to the gentleman assassin, the Jackal, as he descends the staircase from an airplane, and I'm delighted to see a propeller airplane in the background. We could take a look at his suit. As I mentioned already, it's a kind of beige, sandy coloured fabric. Although Solaro does actually come in a few variations these days, this is the classic one and it is the best one to choose. He's an Englishman in this movie, so this is very much a classic English suit. Structured shoulders, 2 buttons, and hacking pockets, which we shall take a look at closely later on. Thanks to the older age of this movie, the shots are wider and longer, which is actually very helpful for us to examine his suit. But it's quite a relaxed 2-button, 2-piece notch lapel suit. He's wearing with it a nice beige button-down shirt and a red tie. These colours go very well together. The red tie is a particularly good choice when you remember that in the sunshine, the suit fabric itself has an iridescent red that can be seen as you move. He also has a beige raincoat or overcoat thrown over his arm. I have one negative comment about this, but I'll keep it for later as we shall see it becomes relevant throughout the whole movie. This is kind of a monotone movie as far as Edward's costume is concerned. He wears a few different variations of this throughout the entire movie, but it is very much a beige movie in that respect. And I don't mean that as an insult to be boring, it's quite good, but it does have one drawback, and I'll point that out later on. If you're enjoying this video so far, then please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. YouTube don't promote my videos, not even to my own subscribers, so please make sure you hit that notifications bell. Also, don't forget to check out the comments section. We have a fantastic community there and it's well worth reading. Although it is a classic English suit, it is a single vent at the back of the jacket. This is not recommended in my opinion. I've heard some people argue that they prefer it and they think it looks better on them depending on their physique. However, the single vent jacket was originally designed for horse riding so that when you sit on the horse, the jacket will part and keep your behind covered up. It's definitely best to have a double vent suit jacket for the exact same purpose that in ordinary everyday life, you will keep your behind covered up. He's also wearing a very nice pair of brown leather derbies. As far as his suit is concerned, they're all very good choices. It's very uniform. Nothing is fighting with each other for attention. However, I do feel, due to the fact that he has sandy brown hair, it's almost a bit too monochrome, and it wouldn't hurt if something stood out a little bit more. Perhaps he should have gone for a white shirt or a darker shirt to build in a little bit of contrast into his overall look. However, I do like the fact that he wears a button-down shirt with a tie very casually. It works extremely well with the Solaro suit. Now, as I just mentioned, it's an older movie, so we have these longer cuts. And there's a scene where he's talking to the gentleman at the desk and he's leaning over, and we can take a look at those wonderful hacking pockets. First of all, it's a jetted pocket. This means it doesn't have a flap on the outside covering the pocket. The hacking pocket is a classic English design from sports coats, where it's at an angle, which makes it easy during horse riding to access the pocket or to prevent things from falling out when you lean forward. The hacking pocket has a sports background, but has made its way into the ordinary lexicon of suits and suit jackets. And here, while pretending to be an ordinary tourist, he has ditched the tie and opened up the collar for a semi-formal look, but has kept a bit of class about him by wearing an ascot underneath. This is the purpose and wonderful advantage of the ascot. Here, a white ascot with an interesting black design on it helps it to stand out with a lighter beige shirt. And this polka dot dark red ascot is very similar to the red necktie he was wearing earlier on. Very bold graphic design featuring alternating red and black squares. Again, the red helping to pull out the red of the iridescent Solaro suit and the black camming it all down. To wear something refined like a necktie, but to allow yourself to have an open collar and relaxed at the same time. The cravat or ascot is a particular piece of fabric that is shaped in a way where it can be folded over the knot and tucked underneath the shirt. If you want to try that out, you can of course try it out with a simple neckerchief. But whereas a neckerchief usually has the knot tied in front, the ascot is much neater with the fabric folded over the knot to disguise it. Like other aspects of menswear, the cravat or the ascot originally comes from a military background. It's not so popular anymore. In fact, some people may see it as being a bit posh or a bit snobbish, but it is actually designed to be casual wear. And here we have look number 3. The jacket being worn as a separate with a dark chocolate pair of trousers. Suit jackets can indeed be worn as sports coats, but it very much depends on their cut and how you wear them. Here Edward Fox has styled it perfectly, retaining the beige shirt, yet switching the suit trousers out for some brown slacks. Yes, I said the word slacks. Here I think this works extremely well. I think the darker trousers offsets the outfit a little bit and adds a bit of contrast to it, which in this case I think is a very good thing. But that's how you can take one very good suit and wear it in 3 very different ways. And while still keeping to a very monochrome look, the Jackal has thrown a sweater on over a shirt. This is a very good look with the colour of the shirt not contrasting too much with the sweater colour. And pulling that colour outside but having it turned down at the same time is a very sophisticated look. Some people prefer to wear the collar inside, but I think sometimes it looks a little bit fussy on a round neck sweater. But you can of course use a V-neck sweater as well, which helps to maintain the look of the suit and the masculinity while not wearing a jacket. So the Jackal has developed something of a uniform. Whether he's wearing a sports coat or a suit, he wears beige colour, light beige shirt or brown pants and brown shoes. This may not be the best idea if you're supposedly an assassin who doesn't want to be discovered. However, in daily wear that's quite a strong idea. That doesn't mean you wear the same suit all the time, it just means you keep your clothing within a certain range of colours or styles. Bill Nye comes to mind with his navy suits and his polo shirts. People recognise you straight away and it brings kind of familiarity and comfort, and this can be a very good thing whether in business or in your personal life while making friends. However, you do want to throw in something every now and then to change it up. For example, throwing in a sweater, a dark tie, or changing the suit trousers into some dark chinos. And not just colour, but don't forget contrast. I think Edward Fox looks great here, but at the same time his sandy coloured hair and the Solaro suit make his entire physique almost monochrome. You can stick with the same colours because it suits him very well, but a little bit of contrast wouldn't hurt here and there. Maybe a white shirt or a dark chinos to go with the sports coat. Anyway, what do you guys think? Have you heard of this Solaro before? Have you seen the iridescence in real life? It is quite excellent, and it is a very unique way to wear a statement piece that is a low-key colour at the same time. So thank you, I really appreciate you watching to the end, and I'll see you next week with a new video.